Thorny, as we venture into the R&R, two truths are consistent. We love our dear Montana State, and we love great beer. And you know who else feels the same? Jeremiah Johnson Brewing. Brewed in the heart of Montana in downtown Great Falls, Jeremiah Johnson takes Montana's finest ingredients to craft some of Montana's favorite beers. And now, Jeremiah Johnson's second tap room is open in downtown Coeur d'Alene. Their Citra IPA is probably one of my favorites. But we all know, Thorny, you're not the hop lover I am. You're more of a Mountain Man Scotch Ale.
Well, Foley, I'm certainly not a mountain man, but you are right. I do love their Mountain Man Scotch Ale. But come game day, you and I are both cracking their Golden Bobcat Pale Ale. So when you're looking for a quality craft beer brewed with Montana roots, a relaxing tap room, or just a six-pack to take to your favorite Bobcat tailgate, Jeremiah Johnson delivers. Make your next beer a Jeremiah Johnson, and as always, go Cats.
Welcome, everybody, to the R&R Catcast, a fan-based podcast focusing on Montana State athletics. We're two dudes named Ryan from the state of Washington talking about our dear Montana State. We hope you enjoy. All right. Welcome back, Bobcat fans, for another episode of R&R After Dark. My name is Ryan Foley. Across the state from me is my good buddy, Ryan Thornburg. We are here to talk about the awesome win against the Eastern Eagles.
Oh, yeah.
Woo!
Ooh.
Man, it feels good.
Feels good.
Oh, man. We are going to get into it. This is the very first, this is just a quick reaction episode to how we feel about the game and about the other games going on in the Big Sky. We'll keep it short. We'll craft our conversations about the good, the bad, the ugly. But, man, that one felt good.
How far from the high have you come down? I feel like I've definitely way down. I was like a good solid hour or two after the game. I was on cloud 9, but I'm definitely like, it's 9:30 now. A little more tired, but still feeling pretty good. How you doing?
I'm probably about where you were at, but I know as soon as you hit record, man, I was like ready to go.
Yeah.
Like, let's talk about this game. I'm stoked.
Yeah.
Because I think I've watched the game probably 2.5 times now.
I mean, I've done nothing since the game ended except for like go on Twitter or social media and read about the game and reactions. And yeah, pretty much spent the entire night looking at stuff from it. So still stoked.
Excellent, man.
And we'll get into that a little bit here tonight.
Yeah, for sure. Before we get into the Montana State game, let's go around the Big Sky.
You want me to start off? All right. Hapless Idaho State went to BYU for some reason this late in the season. You don't see that too often, but got crushed 59-14. Really nothing else to talk about there. BYU is a ranked FBS team, and they spanked the Bengals. Paycheck. Paycheck.
And Greeley, Montana took it to the Northern Colorado Fighting McCaffreys 35-0. And my screen just went completely black, so I have nothing else to talk about.
I mean, Cam Humphrey came back for the Grizz and looked a lot better. That's all I really need to know about that one. That's a good win down in Greeley. The surprise, Portland State travels to Ogden and takes down the Wildcats 30-18. Davis Alexander, 299 yards and a touchdown. Man, they just took it to them. They just beat Weber. I think they led pretty much. I think Weber scored the first touchdown. It was all Portland State after that. So good win for the Vikings, who are, I thought they were playoff hopefuls, but apparently they only, even if they win out, they'd be 7-4, but I guess they'd only have 60 wins. So I think it'd be pretty hard to do. But Portland State could finish strong. But yeah, they pretty much knocked Weber State out of the playoffs on that one.
Yeah, Weber State can't finish 7-4 now.
Nope. No 6 teams for the Big Sky Conference.
What do you think about that, Ryan? Were you hoping Weber State would make a push towards the end, or are you glad they're out?
I mean, it makes our win against them look worse when Portland State goes down there and wins by more than we did. But I don't care about that right now because we got the marquee win today. So doesn't matter too much to me now what Weber State does after the victory today.
Okay.
I know you had different thoughts. You don't have to get into it.
I'm not too sad to see him go. So
all right, let's keep moving.
All right, down in Moscow, Idaho doubles up. Southern 4, I guess not quite double it up,
Close
but
enough.
Yeah, that's a good game for Idaho. I mean, Southern Utah is really bad, but for Idaho to have anything positive in their life, that's something good. They have a nice basketball arena. I think that's probably the most positive thing they have going in their life right now.
I know,
So,
some of our
good on
guys
them.
probably upset about the win because they're hoping Petrino gets fired, and every time he wins a game, he's one step closer to or further away from getting fired.
Well,
I am curious to see if Roshan Johnson, the running back for Idaho, is going to get the Player of the Week over Afonso. 30 carries, 174 yards, and 6 touchdowns. It's going to be kind of hard.
oh my!
It's going to be hard to discount
Goodness.
that.
Oh, geez, 6 touchdowns. That's crazy.
That's crazy for one running back.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't think he will, but debatable. I mean, 6 touchdowns for a running back, that is pretty awesome.
174 yards to go with it. It's not like they were all 5-yard touchdowns. But anyway.
Yeah. All right. You're up next, buddy.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You did that one. UC Davis takes care of NAU to remain, I don't know what they are, 8-1, 5-1. Still in the position for a seed, UC Davis. So good win for UC Davis over, the mysterious NAU team. You never know which team's going to get. Not the good one. And that was in Flagstaff, too. So good win for the Aggies.
All right. Final game that just went final just a little bit ago. Stingers up down in Sacramento.
I hope Sac State loses, so you stop saying Stingers up, although it makes me laugh.
I know. All right. I laugh because it makes you laugh now.
Yeah.
So
it has. Now it's a thing. Now it's a thing. Yeah. I hope you say it every time. It brings a smile to my face.
Okay. Yeah. They took down Cal Poly 41-9. I watched the first 2 quarters of that game, and I was rooting for Cal Poly because, if Sac State loses, that helps Montana State's chance of winning the Big Sky outright. But no, they just kind of put the throttle down on them later on. So 41-9, that's a big win.
Yep, and they got the big matchup with UC Davis at the end of the season. That'll be a pretty interesting game. Big time matchup coming up.
Causeway Classic.
That's right. That's what it's called. Causeway Classic.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, let's get right into the Montana State Eastern Washington game. Ryan, I'm going to call myself out, man, because I know you're going to do it, and I'll just say it first. I was overly pessimistic going into this game. I just thought history would just repeat itself. I just thought Eric Barrier was going to be too strong, too good, too fast. Montana State would just crumble underneath the pressure. I am so happy I am wrong.
Yeah, you were wondering how even like Brent Vegan as a coach would respond after getting punched down on the mat. So, I had doubts all week too. Like I was a roller coaster. There were some days I'm like, we can do this. And the other days I'm like, how can we stop them? Like, and it's the same thing. Like, I think it's part of that is mental. Losing as often as we have against Eastern Washington, definitely just, it's a mental barrier. And we were able to overcome it. And yeah, man, it's okay to be negative and it's okay to admit it. And I'm glad you did. And, let's just revel in the win. That's all that matters.
You always talk about this season about getting monkeys off our back. This was a big one.
We've been like 2 straight seasons now. We've been just tossing monkeys off our back. Love it. There's not many monkeys left. They're all back in the zoo.
Book. All right. Hey, and there's gonna be a lot of good. There is some bad. There might be some ugly, but let's start off with the good. I'm going to talk about Afonso. I mean, if we're going to talk about the good, we're going to talk about Isaiah Afonso. 32 carries, 217 yards, 1 touchdown. The guy goes over 1,000 yards on the season. He has 1,124 yards this season, and he was a man among boys out there today. Holy cow. He was doing his Afonso thing. I don't know why I'm surprised at this point because he just does it repeatedly all the time. He's just so fun to watch. And we got a whole nother year of Isaiah. He was the MVP of this game.
Oh, easily the MVP of the game. He had a nice run called back too on a holding call. Like he was just a man out there. But I want to ask you something real quick. And obviously this is our short episode. Let's not get too far into it. What do you think about Isaiah Afonso getting 32 carries? It's a lot of carries.
Yeah, for sure. We didn't see Elijah Elliott all that much. We saw Lane Sumner come in. And so I did like the 1-2 punch we had with Elliott early on in the year, and I'm not sure why we are going away from that. Maybe just because we can trust Afonso more.
Yeah.
I mean, he certainly got the job done, but yeah, I mean, that's something maybe we could talk about a little bit more on Monday, but you do bring up a good point.
All right. Well, I'm going to
What do you think?
Well, I guess, I just think it's a lot of carries, but you got to, if he gives you the best chance to win in this game, you got to ride him. I just hope he's able to stay healthy for the remainder of the season. Like, we only got 2 more regular season games left. So if he's still healthy, he's still healthy. It was pretty scary seeing him cramp up there. Like, I think that's a cramp, but couldn't tell. But glad to see him get back out there and have a solid second half. So 32 carries, don't love it. I'd like to see better production somewhere else, but in a game where you need your star to win the game for you, I'm okay with it. 544 total yards of offense by the Bobcats in this one.
Woo-hoo.
So
Here's something good.
I got lots of good things to say about this one. So I'm going to just build off what you said. The good, I'm going to go with the offensive line here. When I heard that Taylor Tuiasosopo was a scratch for the game, and Cole Sain hasn't played a lot, but he's still like the number 1 backup. So then it slid in, I think it was Dylan Porter, I think came in for Taylor for his first career start ever. In a game where we're going to have to win the ball, or in the game running the ball, I got a little nervous. But they played great. They paved up some good holes for Afonso, and I thought the offensive line played great for the most part, especially down a man.
Porter only played sparingly. McElroy was the guy that was taking most of the snaps.
Was it
there?
Okay.
Yeah.
Was he playing center?
No, right guard.
Okay. Well, he said taking the snaps, right?
Sorry. Yeah. Men playing. Yeah. Montana State's offensive line really dominated. Tuiasosopo was on the sideline. Coach Vegan in his post-game presser said it was a team violation. And he said quickly right after that, that's the only thing I'm going to say about that.
Oh, I did not catch that part. So it wasn't an injury?
No.
Wow. Okay. Well, maybe we'll talk about that on Monday.
So let's talk about the defense. The defense held the Eagles to 314 yards, man. The Eagles have been averaging over 600 prior to this game.
So half their total. Is that what you're saying there? Roughly half. That's incredible. What is the total? Man. So 3 yards per rush and 6.9 yards per pass. That's fantastic. There's a lot of things that I would have guessed in this game. The fact I would have not really have guessed Matt McKay to have more passing yards and a better yards per pass than Eric Barrier.
No, right? I thought Montana State was also the more physical team. And I think that really kind of won us the game.
I mean, I think we kind of knew that coming in. That was going to be one of the keys was, can we just physically punish them and negate their speed and athleticism just by doing that? We were hitting hard there, especially in the first half there. There were some bone-crunching hits there. So I agree. We were the more physical team.
Another good I had written down is Montana State didn't let their own faults derail them. We really shot ourselves in the foot a couple of times, and we might talk about that, but it didn't snowball on them like I expected it to. They just kept coming, and they kind of wiped that off the plate, so to say, and then just on to the next play. I just thought they did a really good job of just focusing on the task at hand and just continuing to make plays.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say something similar. The mental toughness in this game was great. The Cats had 2 turnovers. We lost a turnover battle by 2. So lots of things could have gone wrong, or guys could have gotten down, but everything just looked steady all game long. The Cats just kept bringing it, and I gotta love that. And I mean, how much of that is Brent Vegan? It just seems like they're just a much more steady Eddie team than we have been in the past. So yeah, kudos to the mental toughness of the team and rebounding and not getting down about stuff.
All right. Well, yeah, Matt McKay had a bounce back day. He had a big day. Well, big day for him. Kind of a normal day for him, right? So he was 17 of 30, 253 yards, 1 touchdown. He only had a 56 completion rate. I know Coach Vegan would want that to be closer to 65. Passer rating of 131. But after having 2 kind of questionable games, Matt McKay bounced back, and it was really good to see him. Then he take some deep balls. He hits McCutcheon like that last one when we hit, what was it, 96-yard scoring drive in 2 plays.
Yeah.
That was such a beautiful ball.
That was
He put
perfect.
that so perfect. Yeah. So he had a couple nice ones to McKay. It was good to see Nate Stewart grab one over the middle. It's good to see Nate Stewart, period. We hadn't seen him yet. McKay has a couple things he could still work upon and miss a couple throws on some fourth downs in the red zone. But I was really pleased with his effort, and he just seemed more confident. He didn't have any of those really bad throws that we had seen in Idaho State. He just looked more comfortable, and I'm just happy for him.
I thought he did a pretty good job when he decided to run the ball. He ran quite well in this game, too. He had the 56-yard run that kind of started off the game, the 56-yard touchdown, and he only ended up with 65 yards. So some of that must be sack yards, too, because he had some other good runs, too. But I thought he did a pretty good job in the running game, got more involved there, and I think that's something that benefited the Bobcats, and he needs to do more because he's a pretty good runner, like good enough to get 6 or 7 yards when he scrambles, which is, for an offense like this, 2nd and 4, money.
All right, Thorny. Hey, any other in the good?
We beat Eastern Washington, man. I just want to end the good on how awesome that is as a fan to beat a team that we haven't beat since 2011, that we've struggled with so mightily. The top 5 matchup. This was the most pressure-packed game that we've had in a regular season game, and probably since the last time we played Eastern Washington as a top 5 matchup. I think I asked you that on Monday, and I think the answer was like 2013 or 12 when we were both in the top 5. That's the last time the Bobcats played another team as both teams being in the top 5. Just feels good to win, man. I've been riding this high all night, and I'm just stoked. I'm just stoked for the Cats and for Brent Vegan and Cat fans everywhere. As I was texting you and Shane, I think this is the second most cathartic win I can remember as a Bobcat fan. 2019, when we blew the doors off the Grizz, that was number 1. But this one, it's a number 2. Like big monkey off the back. Felt good. Felt good to finally get one.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you said that because I was going to ask you, where does this rank? I can't think of a better win since, well, the Cat Grizz. I agree 100% on that ranking right there.
Well, that's just in cathartic terms. It's just how happy it made me feel as a fan.
Yeah, Montana State had Jeff Choate never won against Eastern. This is a top 10. This is a top 5 team on the road. And we just beat them. Yes,
in the place not many people win. Like I know Weber State did a few weeks ago, but historically, man, no one's won on that red turf over there. So gotta love it.
So they're coming off a bye again. It sounds like Weber all over again, right? They had their senior day. I mean, it's all these things stacked against us. Montana State. Let's talk. I'm going to transition into the bad right now.
Okay, good.
We left a lot of points.
Oh man,
I want to estimate. I mean, if everything goes perfectly, what do you think? Like 28 points we missed?
I'm not sure I'd go that high. It's hard to know how drives would have ended. I want to say comfortably 14 points off the board, though. An easy. So
14. We can both agree. Troy Anderson.
Did Troy dropping a pick 6? There's no way he does not score. That's guaranteed 7 points.
Okay, so that's 7. We missed 2 red zone opportunities.
Yep.
And then we missed the Elijah Elliott. He took it to the house, and there was a called back on. I think Tommy Millot got called for.
Millot did get called on which I think quick replay.
28 points right there, man.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, man. Yeah, this is a game that felt like we were going to lose because we kept shooting ourselves in the foot, and I just kept waiting for Eastern to hit an 80-yard touchdown pass, which never happened. I wish that the ESPN told me what the longest play was, the longest pass completion, but it's nowhere near what they have been doing. But I was just waiting for it, and I was like, man, the Cats just can't put this away. We've had so many chances. Eastern's going to get the ball with 5 minutes left and win the game, and it never happened. And I'm so happy I was wrong about that sick feeling in my stomach that entire fourth quarter.
You're right, man. Stones Glessner missed a 27-yarder.
Yeah, that was a rough one. But you know what? He's been money all season. I'll forgive him. Everybody
Met
gets
his
a couple
parents
mistakes.
at the alumni event. I told him I call their son Stones. Mom just laughed. Dad gave me kind of the eye.
Well, you might have jinxed him right there, maybe. I don't know.
All right. That's really the only thing I had in the bad was that. I mean, you can kind of parse that out too, because you could talk about like a sub note to that would be our play calling when we got down to the red zone. We rode the Ponce into the red zone, and then all of a sudden we become pass happy when we get, first and goal, somewhere close to that. And I just don't understand that. It's like like our first time when we hit, we went 4 downs down there, and we hit 2 pass plays on first down, one to Nate Stewart, McKay threw behind him. This would have been the second time we went for our, we didn't get that touchdown. So I'm stumbling here because I'm having trouble remembering all this, but it was McKay, it was then Lance McCutcheon, and then we ran right into a brick wall on 3rd down, and I'm like, why? It was just terrible. So I don't know.
Yeah, there was 2
just,
series there
play
that
calling
were
was
like
just
that.
a head scratcher.
Yeah, and there was McKay missed 2 slants that I think both should have been touchdowns. Like I think the play call was okay. I think he missed Patterson behind him on the other one, and then the other one was, I think it was to McCutcheon, where it was so far behind him, like McCutcheon stopped cold and barely even got a finger. Like it was a bad throw. So I don't know. I don't know if it's play calling or execution. You're right. You get inside the 20, the field shrinks. You get inside the 10. Maybe you just want to try and mix it up. Like they're going to expect Defonze up the middle. Maybe get too cute for your own good. I don't know. But it was frustrating to see us get inside the 10 a couple times and come away with like 0 points on 2 combined trips.
Yeah. I was saying some bad things upstairs. My wife was not happy with me. All right. Hey, let's move on to the ugly, unsportsmanlike penalty on Willie Patterson for literally doing nothing except just waving to the first down. This has to stop. This is just bogus calls. Oh my gosh.
I want to send that to the Big Sky Conference office and ask, what is that? How is that a penalty? Like every wide receiver in the history of the planet does that. Gets up and does a first down sign. I'll have to. Is there something I missed where I rewatched it and he did still something extra? Was it a different first down signal than anyone else does? I don't know. It's that one was even worse than Daniel Hardy's one in the Wyoming game where he did the incomplete hands. It was even worse. So I was so frustrated like that.
Oh.
It didn't end up mattering. We ended up getting inside the red zone anyway, got a first and goal out of it, and then like missed a field goal, I believe, is how that one ended. If he makes that catch, maybe we do the exact same thing and miss a field goal. I don't know. But it was so infuriating to see that play out like that. And poor Willie Patterson can't catch a break sometimes, man.
Well, there was like a weird play where EB3 got pushed out in the boundary. He's holding the ball and he spikes it on the ground right in front of the refs. And then like kind of grabs his leg or his knee like he got hurt. And then just pops up and runs back to the huddle. But I'm like, so EB3 can just literally spike the ball in frustration and not get any kind of reprimand. But Willie Patterson makes a great catch, puts his arm out, in the excitement, first down, unsportsmanlike call.
Well, that's taunting.
It's just so bogus.
Throwing the ball is anger. That's not taunting. You're just mad. Making you pointing one direction with your arm. That's
you
taunting.
Can't spike the ball. You can't spike the ball out of frustration. You can't do it. It's unsportsmanlike.
Fair enough.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't mind if they call that. It's not consistent. And that's what pisses me off. I've seen so much worse things from other teams against the Bobcats. I feel like we get the worst ones called against us. I get they're cracking down on taunting, but apparently they're only cracking down on the Bobcats because I don't think I've seen any other team get a ticky-tacky taunting call like we have consistently.
The SWX crew led by Dennis Patchins. Dennis was like, if you're going to call that, you got to call that like 30 times a game.
Yeah, right? Gosh.
Yeah, it was terrible.
All right.
All right, man.
I was wondering what you're going to say in
the
the ugly. I'm like, what are you going to say here? Like, there's lots of things you could say, but it's a win, man. It's the biggest win we've had in a long, long time. I don't even want to say anything ugly about it. We'll dissect the sloppiness or whatever later on Monday. But yeah, you're good call bringing that up because that one infuriated me in real time.
All right, so Thorny, the Cats win 23-20. We're 8-1 on the season. We stamped our ticket into the playoffs. Now it's like, what if we get a seed, or we'll talk about all the playoff
scenarios,
stuff, in coming episodes. But let's end this one. Let's get out of here, buddy.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for listening and staying with us on a Saturday night. I'm sure plenty of other Bobcat fans are still wired, running high off that. Fortunately, I'm probably not going to get this edited or out until late Sunday morning. So sorry about that. But yeah, thanks for listening. Find us on Twitter, RRCatcast. Find us on the web, rrcatcast.com. You know what, Foley? Let's just get out of here, man. That was fun. I'm excited. Go Cats.
Go Cats.
Go Cats.